anything like it. Back when I started 21 years ago, whatever, entrepreneurship wasn't sexy. Entrepreneurs was something that lazy people said they wanted to be because they really didn't want to work. That was the mindset of, like, oh, you want to be an entrepreneur, girl, you don't want to have a job. That you just don't want to have a job. And so it had a negative connotation on it, and there was no entrepreneurship schools that were prevalent. There were universities are just now having entrepreneur courses on their campuses in the last 5-10 years. So 21 years ago, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to be a motivational speaker. Motivational speakers don't even have a career path. Like there's no classes that you can take. And so here I am in this ambiguous industry called entrepreneur, in this really ambiguous industry called speaking. And so my family did not cheer me on, not for lack of love and lack of support, but for lack of clarity, lack of understanding. And I couldn't even give it to them because I didn't have any clarity. I couldn't. They were like, well, tell us again, Lisa, what you do. I'm like, well, I make people happy. They're like, how you make people happy? Like, make me happy right now. I'm like, well, I can't make you happy right now because you committed to being mad. There was no evidence. There was no evidence around. And so my family literally, I never forget, I was at a event and I was a keynote speaker. This was within the last 12 years. Mind you, I've been doing this for 21, 22 years. In the last 12 years, I was doing an event and I invited my cousins and they were sitting at the front table. And if you can imagine 220 excited women, like on fire, and one quiet table, you can hear crickets. You can hear crickets. My cousins were sitting there super quiet, not because they didn't support me, but they were completely in shock. Completely in shock. Yeah. And they're looking around at the room like they were sitting amongst aliens. Like they're looking around like, oh my God. And then after the event, everyone's in line for me to sign their autographs. At the time, it must have been over 12 years ago because I didn't have my book, my Chicken Soup was just coming out. Right. And so they just want me to sign anything. They sign a piece of paper, sign my napkin, sign my shirt, sign anything. And my cousins were sitting there like, what the heck is this where they want an autograph? Yeah. Because I'm just a little cousin, right?
Yeah.
And so, no, I didn't have a big cheerleading squad. And then the reality is there's going to be some people out of fear of being left behind, they're going to become haters. And haters hate. You know, sad wants company. Sad people want to make you sad. Mad people want to make you mad. Hurt people want to hurt you as well. Don't make it about you. Just embrace and have compassion for them. Yeah. Hurt people hurt. Yes. Sad people make others sad. Mad people want you to be mad. Lonely people want you to feel isolated as well. So crack your compassion open. Love them for where they are. Don't try to convert them. No. Don't try to fix them, and don't try to rescue them, because they have to make a decision. They have to say the words, I am my own rescue. That's their declaration, not yours. However, what you do have to be responsible for is the energy space that they put you in every time you're with them. The energy space, how they make you feel, what they make you think. Do you leave their presence feeling more inspired and on fire? Do you leave their presence feeling like you have to shrink and you have to bow down, you have to contract? Because you are responsible for how you feel in their presence, because then you are responsible for how often you are in their presence feeling that way. I say all that to say that there are some people you love really, really close and you hold them tight. And there's some people you dance in and out of that magical dance with and you love them from close in intervals. And then there's some people that you never stop loving, but you love them from a distance.
Wow. You have just given me life with what you just said, as your American saying. I just sat there and thought, wow, because as you say, misery loves company. I know there's people out there who are going to be nodding their heads and saying, oh my goodness, she has just described however many people, friends, family in my life who are not supporting me. And I have so many questions for you. And I know I'm not going to have the time to ask all of them. So I'll ask you.
Do this again.
Please, because
Absolutely.
It's crazy. I just wanted to ask you as well. I mean, because of your company, when did you decide to start trying to help other people to change their lives? Because, you know, your concept for your company, motivating the masses, how did that come about?
What's funny is I named my company Motivating the Masses back in 1992. when I had no money. I had a little bit of a vision. I had my son wasn't even born yet. And I just said, I want to inspire the world. That's all. I was just like, I call it ignorance on fire. That's what I
Wow.
was. Ignorance on fire. I was excited and had no idea what I was going to do with all that excitement. And so my girlfriend and I went to the business registration, building where you register your company. And I didn't even know the name of my company. I said, I just want to inspire people. She said, who? I said, everybody. She said, the masses? I said, yeah. She goes, what do you want to do with them? I said, I want to motivate them. She said, you want to motivate everybody? I said, yes. She said, the masses? I said, yes. She goes, well, then let's call it motivating the masses. I said, that sounds good to me. Wow. And now here's what I want you to know about vision. I started motivating the masses in 1992. Every year I had to pay $800 to keep it incorporated. Mm-hmm. But I didn't put any money in motivating the masses because I ended up starting a second company called Motivating the Teen Spirit. And I decided that I was going to focus on the niche called Motivating the Teen Spirit. I was going to focus on the niche called teens, and really grow my brand in that niche. And so every year I would pay $800 for the incorporation of Motivating the Teen Spirit, and I would pay another $800 for the incorporation of Motivating the Masses. And every year my accountant would say, Lisa, we really need to dissolve this company called Motivating the Masses because you're not doing any business over there. You don't have any money over there. You're not putting any money over there. And this $800 that you're spending to be compliant every year, we need this money to pay your light bill and your car note and your rent. Like, we need this money. You have no money. Lisa, because I had no money. I'm a struggling single mom after a while, an entrepreneur. And every year I would tell her, no, I believe I'm going to motivate the masses one day. I can feel it in my gut. And she'd say, Lisa, I'm your advisor, and it's my job to advise you. And I would tell her, with all due respect, Pamela, I appreciate your advice, but my intuition is a higher advisor than you. Mm-hmm. And now here's vision. I told you I started the company in 1992. I incorporated. I paid that annual cost every year. I put my first check I put in Motivating the Masses was in 2007. Mm-hmm. And now Motivating the Masses is a multi-million-dollar business. So sometimes, we live in a Google society. Everyone wants everything now.
Yes.
Listen, the only thing you get instantly is information on the internet. That's the only thing you get instantly that's of any value. You cannot Google download success. You can't Google download tenacity, resiliency, and perseverance. You have to go through something to get it. I didn't take the microwave path to this chair that I'm sitting in right now interviewing with you. This was a road. I didn't take the elevator to the 35th floor. I had to take the stairs. Yes. My grandmother says, every great thing that comes out of your kitchen will never be cooked in the microwave. It will always be cooked in the oven. Mm. So, and to that point, so many entrepreneurs and individuals want microwave success, want Google download success. I knew I was willing to put Motivating the Masses in the oven from 1992 until 2007 until it began to manifest something so that I can get to 2016 and draw you to my circle.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm just blown away. I mean, as you said, it's been a long road for you, a journey. So can I ask you, when you started being asked to do interviews and talk shows like the Oprah Winfrey Show and the Steve Harvey Show, how did you feel about that?
Let me see. So when I was on the Oprah Show, I walked out into the studio and I heard the audience gasp when I walked out. And it was the first time I stepped into a room and the audience knew who I was before I spoke. Normally I walk all around, no one knows who I am. Before 2006, I walk around, no one knew who I was. And then I speak and I get all this attention.
Wow.
But when I was on Oprah, it was the first time they recognized who I was. And I literally sat down in my chair and instantly started crying, and the makeup artist ran out. She's like, "What are you doing? You're messing up my work." And I knew something had changed. I knew life had changed. I knew something was occurring. And then when I was on the Larry King show was difficult. He had to ask hard questions. He said, with all due respect, my job right now is to ask you difficult to answer questions. Yeah. So he prefaced it. He was very kind about the hard things he had to do. And it was a live show. And so there I realized I was rooted in my faith. That was a validation for me. When I was on the Steve Harvey show, I was flattered and honored that he wanted me to come back. Like, I've been on his show maybe about 5 times. Wow. And I was flattered and honored, as I was when I was on the Today Show. I've been on the Today Show like 3 times. And I just felt like, God, thank you. So I'm always humbled. Thank you for giving me value that people want to share it with millions like you. So just so you know, there's no difference in my level of gratitude when I'm on the Today Show, Steve Harvey show, or on your show. Like, I there's no distinction, because I've been asked to be used. I've been asked to be an instrument. I want to be an instrument, a vehicle. So every time I'm a vehicle, I have gratitude in my heart. So, you know, I'm a big person of Oprah and Larry King and Steve Harvey and the Today Show and all the other shows I've been on. They're simply acknowledgments of my efforts. They don't define me. Right. They're acknowledgments of my effort and my contribution to the planet. And all I want to do when I sit down to rest many, many years from now, is I want to sit down, I want to look back at my story, and I want to say, you spent your life making sure your that dash between your birthday and your transition day, you made that dash dance.
Wow. Oh my goodness. And when you were talking earlier about becoming an entrepreneur, it made me laugh, because a couple of weeks ago, I did a show on, being an entrepreneur. What is it like to be an entrepreneur, and how do you know when you are one? And it was just, you've just said some things, and I just thought, wow, that's resonating with me. I know my time is running out with you today. I would love to ask you this last question, because I have seen some of your quotes, and it's been fantastic. And I just want to ask you, can you tell us how you are able to give such powerful and insightful quotes? Because when I've read some of them, the shiver's gone down my spine. They've really resonated with me personally, and I'm totally inspired. So please, can you share that with the listeners before you go?
I determine quotes based on what are people feeling. And I talk to one person. I talk to one person when I quote. I don't quote to talk to everyone. I'm just talking to you. Mm-hmm. And what I realize is that we're so much alike that we all want to feel valued. We want to feel acknowledged. We want to give the world notice. I'm not asking permission anymore. I'm giving y'all notice. We want to make sure that we're not counted out. So I think about what inspires me. I go back to 2000, when I was in a dark place in my life. I had just gotten out of a relationship. I was engaged to be married, and 5 months from my wedding date, my fiance began to emotionally abuse me, and then went on to physically abuse me. Wow. And after that relationship, my spirit was broken, and I realized that I had lost sight of who Lisa was. Mm-hmm. I was consumed with being his woman and being my son's mother and being everyone else's solution, that I had lost who Lisa was for Lisa. And so quotes and affirmations, along with Bible scriptures, along with some mantras that I did every day, that became my oxygen to remind me who I was and what was my birthright and what I had a right to, because I forgot what I had a right to. Mm. I started settling. I started lowering my integrity bar because I was lonely. I started lowering my acceptance bar and accepting more of what I didn't have to accept. And so these affirmations, I posted them all over my house. And I looked like a crazy lady at the time. I had yellow Post-it notes everywhere. Wow. Everywhere. I had them on my refrigerator, on my bathroom mirror. I had Post-it notes about how I'm beautiful and I'm enough. just as I am, with my mocha skin, my full lips, my round hips, and my kinky hair, that I am beautiful in this package. I had posted notes on the refrigerator saying my body is my temple. It deserves the best version of me. I had notes on the back of my